The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gam Podcast Network is brought to you by Fantasy. They're bringing it for new customers. Play just $5, get $100 bonus funds. Use the promo code MLB SGPN. And welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gam Podcast Network. It is currently Wednesday night, October 1st, around 9:20 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm your host, Scott Reichel, once again joined by Dylan Rockford. Together, we're going to break down the Game 3s for the wild card round. Now, we know for certain we have three minimum Game 3, so I'm pretty happy with how the games went today on Wednesday. A lot of content for us. Could be 4. The Reds are up 2-0 right now in the first inning, so it could be potentially a full 4-game card of 4 Game 3, which is a lot of fun. Dylan, how's it going with you? What's up?
What's going on, Scott? What a game. What a day, honestly, of baseball. Even the Cleveland outside of the Cubs game, that was it was one-sided the whole game, I thought. Great game. There's nothing like playoff baseball. How have your bets been doing?
Fine. Can't complain. On the show this morning with Mal, not so great, but we'll see what happens moving forward. Had the over in the Yankee game. A lot of guys stranded on base at 7.5, but it is what it is. Besides that, though, overall, the prop show was solid. I know that Adam and I had Ben Rice home run, which got there, which was nice. I ended up having, unfortunately, I can't say a bad beat, but I had extra innings in that Tigers game at like plus 660, and it was 1-1 in the 8th, and then the Guardians kind of exploded there. But 550 throwing a long shot didn't work out.
I was riding along with the parlay. I saw that you guys tweeted it. I was like, I love this. A stolen base and a tie. 50, and I had the bonus as well, the $50. I was like, you might as well. Maybe I'll get $1,000. And it was looking good. And then can we break the fourth wall?
Well, to be fair, Story didn't steal a base, but at the time it looked good for extra innings.
We could have had a cash out.
We might have had a cash out, but either way.
Mao texted the group chat.
He did. He said, yeah, we're getting these extra innings. A minute later, Rocchio homers. And I'm like, all right, that's just exactly what I needed. And then, of course, Bo Naylor, of all people, hits a 3-run homer. So
then they broke out.
Yeah. So.
Underbettors look away. That was terrible.
Yeah, most people got a 7, so that was a pretty unlucky push. I saw it was 6.5 early. So if you got 6.5, you lost, but you probably should have gotten a push for that game. Besides that, though, the Cubs no-showed Game 2.
Yeah.
Didn't score a single run. Imanaga, starter, reliever, who cares? He's getting up at least 1 home run, and Machado launched 1. And Tatis made a very nice play in the outfield. And Mason Miller, though, is a damn demon.
They can't hit him.
Well, nobody can. But yeah,
he's so good.
What did he throw it again? 104.5?
Yeah, 104.5. They caught it.
That was the fastest pitch that we've seen in the stat tracking since Chapman, I think back in like 2008. So it's been a long time. Maybe not Chapman, but for a long time. Either way, though, point is the Cubs no-showed. You had the Yankees who blew every chance they had and then found a way to win anyway. So nice job by Jazz as the base runner to get home plate. Bit of a scare there with the Rafaela fly ball at the end, but it died on the warning track, and the Yankees did get the job done. And, of course, once again, the Reds are up 2-0, but the Dodgers haven't batted yet, and Littell's pitching. So what could possibly go wrong? We'll see what happens. But
by the way, Jazz made a good play in second base as well. Very good.
Fortunate that they didn't score the run anyway because the ball got past Rice, but he saved the run. So very.
Were you surprised Boone didn't play him or Ben Rice in Game 1?
I'm not surprised because Crochet's numbers against lefties are insane. So I understand what he was trying to do. Having said that, Rice is the hottest hitter on the team, and he was on fire the last week, so I wouldn't have pulled him out of principle. Not to mention the fact, even if you're not going to start Rice or Jazz, at some point you got to pinch hit for Wells or somebody because they're also lefties. You can bring them in off the bench. They brought in Jazz to be a pinch fielder in the 9th inning, and he just so happened to bat in the bottom of the 9th. But whatever, Game 1 didn't work out, and mostly because the bullpen was in shambles. And Game 2, the bullpen kept it together for the most part. So overall, Devin Williams came in, ended up getting out of it. Bednar got out of it too, and we got a Game 3. So,
I was watching it with my family, who surprisingly they're all Yankee fans.
You said this before. You went rogue and chose the worst team.
I chose the fucking worst team. My dad looked away. Goes when Devin Williams came in. He's like, I'm just gonna hold my breath. I said I will hold it for you as
Bregman hits a
well.
single, you're like, oh, we're screwed. And then he immediately hits a double play. Almost looked like he was going to airmail that into center field.
Yeah.
But nice play by Volpe, and then they got out of it. But yeah, once again, overall, so far, 3 game 2s, and we have 3 game 3s. So can't
Love it.
complain. A lot of content. Looking forward to it. For the lines, by the way, we did recently get the Red Sox-Yankees game 3 line. So we have content for all the games and the lines available. So let's get into it. Unless you want to talk about something else.
No, I want to talk about nothing else.
Cool. There we go. Moving on, though, before we get into any of the game 3s for Thursday, a reminder that we have an app. So check out the SGPN app in the App Store. Download for free to get easy access to all of our picks and podcasts. Once again, if you want to get access, for example, to the NBA show, the MLB show, college experience, and you don't want to bother trying to track down each YouTube channel, each Spotify, that's fine. Go to the app. We have them all organized. It's in one easy location. Check out the SGPN app for our free picks and podcasts, free to download. So moving on to the winner go home games, which is definitely nice to see in round 1. For this one, have they officially announced the times of these games, by the way? Because I see a bunch of TBDs.
Yeah, so 1 o'clock for obviously the Detroit Cleveland, 3:09 for San Diego, and 6:09 for Yankees Red Sox.
Okay, so the same times that we've had for the first 2 days. That's fine. Yep. We're going to rerun the same exact schedule. So moving on to the first game, Tigers taking on the Guardians. For this one, you have Flaherty taking on Ciccone. Pricing: Guardians are about -115, Tigers around -105, and the over/under is set at 7. So Cleveland and Detroit have split the first 2 games. Don't let the score fool you in game 2. It was also a rock fight. Then one inning happened. Melton fell apart. They brought in a lefty, and he got destroyed. But it was a very close game. Neither team can really hit, especially with runners in scoring position. Detroit can't get a bases to save their lives. I'll ask you for this game because Flaherty was really not that good this season. For the numbers, 8-15, 4.64 ERA. Ciccone was very up and down, 7-7, 4.3 ERA. But he was not good against the Rangers in his last start, 4 innings, 4 earned. That was at home, by the way. Previous 3 starts, though, 2 earned runs combined. So pretty up and down, I'd say, season for Ciccone, especially lately. Flaherty, though, I don't trust at all. So I'm going Cleveland in this game. It would be pretty fitting if the Tigers blew a massive lead in the division, 14.5 games. The Guardians came back. Then the Tigers blow a 1-0 series lead to the same team, and they lose in 3. Give me Cleveland -115. I just trust them a bit more. Think the Tigers really just can't hit with guys on base right now. And Ciccone, you can argue, might be better than Flaherty. Flaherty has more experience in the postseason, but recently he has not really been that good. Give me Cleveland at home with the crowd there. I think they get the job done in this one. I see that your camera just died. Are you still there?
No, okay. I hear you. I hear you, and I sound good, I feel like, but my camera's shit.
You can keep talking if you want. We can hear you.
Yeah, I see a -110. I agree. Credit Guardians. They had that one really good inning in the 8th inning today. Do or die. I agree. I got to take the Guardians here at home just because of the inconsistency of Flaherty. 0-3 versus this Cleveland team this year with a 3.94 ERA. And coming into the postseason, he's lost back-to-back starts versus this team as well. Walks continue to be an issue for him. And, you know, I just feel like watching the games, and correct me if I'm wrong, the Tigers have left a lot of men on base this series. So I just trust the Guardians a little more here. Slade Ciccone at home. I think we saw when they're hitting and what they could do offensively. I think this Guardian team is just better. I think the bullpen has been better for Cleveland as well. So yeah, I'll take Cleveland here. I see -110 over on the Blue Sportsbook. I'll take that.
So I do want to ask you. I have 2 potential stats I can read off.
Yes.
Do you want the one including last year or just this series against Cleveland?
Both.
Okay. So for starters, in this series, the Tigers are 2 for 23 with runners in scoring position. They've stranded 21 runners on base, 25 strikeouts, 2 for 16 from the 1 and 2 hitters, including a couple of playoff games from last year, all against the Guardians, by the way. They are 4 for 43 with runners in scoring position, and all 4 hits were singles. Wow. So they can't get a hit to save their lives with guys on base.
Yeah, I had no idea about those numbers, but that I just was watching the game. I'm like, they leave runners on. It feels like every inning they leave guys on base.
Yeah, well, in the top of the first, they could have potentially killed Bybee. Got two guys on base, strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. So that kind of set the tone for the rest of the game. But I like the under, by the way. As I was mentioning a second ago, the game went off the rails in game 2 in the 8th inning. It was a rock fight through and through. And it has been for the first 2 games. Not going to overreact to a 5 spot because of a Bo Naylor 3-run homer and a Rocchio home run. Shout out to Mal. Give me the under of 7 for this one.
I agree. I made my total 6.6. Outside of that Bo Naylor home run, the game still would have went under. So, yeah, I agree. I would take the under here as well.
The last point I'll make, though, about this matchup and these teams in general for now, it feels like these teams are the exact same, but Cleveland is just a little bit clutcher.
Yeah.
Is that a fair assessment of these teams?
Yeah, 100%.
So I'll take the clutcher team at home in game 3. Moving on to the next game, Padres taking on the Cubs. For this one, you're looking at a match between Darvish and Tyone. For this one, basically the same odds as the Tigers game. You have the Cubs minus 115. See a minus 110, though, on Caesars if you want to go for the pick'em. You have the Padres as well at minus 110. For the over-under, I see 7.5. Now, for the actual weather, I have to mention it is a Wrigley game, and the wind's been blowing in heavily for the first 2 games of the series. Main reason why we've seen less than, I believe it was 5 runs in both games so far. Wind is not blowing in. It is now blowing from right to left. A little bit in, nothing much, so you might see a bit more runs in this game than the previous 2. But we know Darvish this season has really not been very good. So far this season, 5-5, 5.38 ERA. ERA on the road, 7.26. And we know the Padres burned a lot of relievers today because they pulled the plug on Cease very quickly.
That was very strange.
I had his over 3.5 it's allowed, so I was kind of pissed about it. But
that's brutal.
As a Dylan Cease hater, I understood the move and it worked out. So nice job by San Diego, but we'll see if anybody has anything left in the tank for the bullpen in this one. For the Cubs, though, you have Tyone, who had a pretty good season. I'd say underrated season, 11-7, 3.68 ERA. At home, 3.05 ERA. And on top of that, we'll mention the last couple of starts. He was great. Last 3 outings, he went a total of 19 innings, giving up 2 earned runs. So he's actually not allowed more than 2 earned runs in 7 straight starts. So he was actually humming to end the regular season, and we'll see what happens here. Now, for this game, we know San Diego on paper, probably the more talented team, but we know the crowd in Wrigley's nuts, and I said before, Tyone's been good. Darvish has been a mess on the road. I'll ask you for this game because I do think the pick'em price sounds accurate for this one. I thought Cleveland would be closer to minus 120, minus 125 personally for that first game. This game feels completely right to me. So I don't see much value on it, but I'll ask you, what do you like in this matchup?
Yeah, great. Like you mentioned earlier, good win for the Padres, forced a game 3. Really good game for Manny Machado as well. But I personally think the Cubs are the better team. You mentioned Jameson Taillon. He's been solid at home for the Cubbies. And he really finished the season strong as well. He's given up less than 2 runs in 7 straight games. Cubs are good for him when he's at home, 5-1 straight up in his last 6 home starts. And I think what the cap came down for me is we'll see how long he goes, but Darvish is a complete fade for me on the road. 7.26 ERA for Darvish. Batter's hitting over 270 off of him as well. He's given up 3+ runs on in the road in 5 of his last 7 starts. If the Padres can't get him any run support, I just don't see how the Padres win this game. You mentioned Dylan Cease got pulled early. That might be the same thing if in a do-or-die elimination game, if he gives up 2-3 runs early, why wouldn't he get pulled?
Well, it's the same for both pitchers, though.
Yeah.
Even if Tyone struggles, your season's over if you lose. So Darvish is slated to start. If he struggles, they're pulling him in basically 3 innings. That's what's going on.
I agree.
So.
I just think the offense kind of dips a little with the Padres. They average around only 4 runs per game on the road. Meanwhile, I just think the Cubs have looked like the better team so far. My numbers actually made him a minus 130 favorite. I see a minus 110, like you mentioned. I like that. I'll take the Cubs here at home.
Yeah, so I'm going to disagree a little bit just based on what you said about the Cubs looking like the better team. I don't know if I agree with you there. So far in the series, the Padres are up 4-3 if you're going by net runs. So neither team can score at this point. The wind was blowing in heavily for the first 2 games, so not exactly surprising if you followed the weather report in Wrigley. But, I mean, Darvish has been quite terrible on the road, and Tyone's been really good. Does Tyone have a great postseason track record? No. So it's a little bit dicey. I'm not going to bring up Darvish's track record because that's going to bring up some bad memories for you. But I do think that, sorry, is that too soon? Can I say that? But
never mind.
Can I say that? It's fine.
No, it's fine. Whatever.
What do you have? 1 hit in that game? 1 hit, 2 hits?
Maybe, if
I think
that.
so. Whatever. Point is that I do think Tyone's been better, but I think San Diego, in terms of offensive depth, do you think the Padres have a better lineup than the Cubs? I feel like it's close,
It's
but
close, but I worry when they go on the road. At home, I think San Diego's the better team, but I would take the Cubs at home. I think offensively, I think it's neck and neck.
I think I would take San Diego solely because PCA fell off a cliff.
Yeah, he
So that
did.
might be the main reason why, because at least you get Tatis and you get Machado and you have a couple guys there. But we're going to disagree on the side. I said it was close. I think it's a proper pick 'em. I don't see much of an edge. For the total, any thoughts?
Actually, man, my total came out to 8.7. So I do think we might see some runs here with the wind, especially. I think runs could actually with you, Darvish, with how shaky he's been. I think we could actually see some runs here tomorrow. So I probably would take the over, if anything.
I think I'm going to agree. I actually see a plus money. A DraftKings is 7.5 at plus 101. So I don't mind that. Maybe it drops to 7. Who knows?
Mhm.
But I think it's going to stay at 7.5. Before we get into the remaining game or games, we'll see how the Dodgers game goes tonight. But a reminder, we are brought to you by MyBook.ag. It's used to bet on football, baseball playoffs, the prop builder second to none. Amount of simple. Bet anything, anywhere, anytime. Use crypto for deposits and payouts. You can sign up for your account. Use code SGPN for 100%. Bet back bonus $100 for your customers. MyBook.ag promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig, which is America's #1 sports market. And since Novig's an exchange, you're getting some great prices. Novig's available in a bunch of states, 35 plus to be exact. Download the Novig app. $50 when you spend just $5 if you use the promo code SGPN. So make sure to use the promo code when you sign up for Novig. Promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finish going for the first two game threes for the Thursday card. Time to move on to the next game 3, which is probably the main event, if I have to say so myself, as a non-biased Yankees
I was
fan.
just gonna say, is that bias or no?
Well, I think we all know Yankees-Red Sox, though. It's clearly
Yeah.
the matinee game. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
it's the
I agree.
marquee game, I mean. Like, that's the game you're looking
Yeah.
for. So, either way, Yankees take on the Red Sox for game 3. For this one, Yankees are minus 160, give or take. Boston's around plus 135. Over-under, I see for this one is 8. Bit of juice to the under, minus 120, but still 8 nonetheless. So, for the pitching matchup, this is the beauty of the playoffs, because you have a winner-go-home game, and you have 2 rookies pitching in the winner-go-home game. You have Schlittler going for New York, and you have Early going for Boston. So we saw the Red Sox use a lefty in Crochet in game 1. Boone did some questionable lineup decisions, not using Rice and not using Jazz. We'll see if he does those same things again. If he does, he should be fired before the second inning. But we'll see what happens. We'll see if they reinvent the wheel again, or if they use the hot hand idea and just let Jazz and Rice play blindly. That's what I would do. We'll see what happens. But really weird game 2. Rodon went some distance, gave up some damage, but still pitched fine, I would say. Bayo got pulled very quickly. They left Whitlock out there to die. But the Red Sox used a bunch of relievers. And the Yankees ended up using Cruz. They ended up using I'm drawing a blank here. They used Williams, and they ended up using Bednar. Boston burned a bunch of guys. So you could argue that Boston's not really in a great position pitching-wise with a rookie going on the mound with, I'd say, a limited pen. They're going to be available anyway, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think 160 is an accurate price? Because with 2 rookies on the mound, I know the Yankees won today as minus 180 favorites. I really don't want to lay 160 when I've noted what I'm getting from either starting pitcher.
Yeah, if it is Early in Schlittler, I did make him a minus 150 favorite. I see minus 162. By the way, I see 7.5 over on FanDuel.
Yeah.
It's juiced to minus 122, but I probably would take the over, if anything. To be honest, I think this has been outside of game 1 with the Dodgers, this has been like the higher scoring series of the 4. And, Connor Early, he's okay.
He's got some nasty strikeout stuff, but there's such a small sample, you really can't
only
tell.
4 games, and you really don't know. And he's played the Athletics. He's played the Tampa Bay Rays, the Tigers, who fell off a cliff. Now going against the Yankees, I don't know how he's going to fare. On the road in a really tough environment, I worry about that. And Schlittler, he's good, but his numbers on the road are better than at home. So that's what I worry about as well with him. So I don't know. I probably would take the over, if anything. My total came out to 8.1. I would take an over 7.5. I think minus 160 is a little absurd here with the Yankees here. And I need a better number to take the Red Sox as well. Maybe a first five team total over for the Red Sox, 1.5. You could get that at plus money. That's hit both games as well. I think maybe they could get some runs early, but that's kind of how I'd play this game. I think we'll see some runs.
Yeah, so just to touch on a few things you mentioned, Schlittler has a better road ERA than home ERA, but his home ERA is still 3.12. It's respectable. It's not like that big of a drop-off compared to the road stuff. I will point out, though, his last 2 home starts, albeit against the Tigers, who I think we've acknowledged are terrible, and the Orioles, 13 innings, 1 run.
Yeah.
So his last 2 home starts, he was great, but it was against teams that can't hit. So, take it as you may. I want to point that out. He has been good recently in Yankee Stadium. But for this one, I agree about the over, especially 7.5. If you're looking at both pitchers having a very short leash, which is expected, do you think there's a chance Crochet's available out of the bullpen? Or do you think that's pushing it?
I think that's pushing it.
I'm throwing out ideas.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of what other arms you have for Boston. We know Giolito's out. You obviously can't throw Bayo again. So they're in a weird spot. They're in a very, very weird spot. So that could be a bit of a concern if Early doesn't have it or if they don't want to let the rookie go out there for 5 innings. The Yankees have some arms. I don't like them. You know who one of the long relievers is for this team?
Who?
Paul Blackburn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good luck.
That's what I'm saying. So if he doesn't have it and Blackburn ends up pitching, he better not pitch. Then that could be a problem too. I like the over. I think the Yankees bullpen's been vulnerable for the last couple months, especially. Boston's bullpen has been good, but not in a great spot for the actual, I'd say, amount of pitches thrown.
They used a lot of guys today.
That's my point. So I don't really like how both bullpens look, and we have 2 starters who might not go distance at all. So I like the over in this game in Yankee Stadium with you. For the pricing, it's really tough because the Red Sox can still manufacture runs. The Yankees still strand a bunch of guys on base. And they left a lot of opportunities by the wayside. The Judge 3-pick strikeout was a joke. Even though they won, Trent grounds out the bases loaded after swinging a ball 4. A lot of guys are left on, and that's still concerning for me. So it's tricky, but I'll go Yankees in this game. The fact is, I think Schlittler I trust more than Early, but I do think the actual lineup, from what I've seen from both teams, I think the lineup's a bit deeper for the Yankees. Maybe not by a lot, but I do think they have some options. I think Goldschmidt will be in the lineup. The problem is I don't actually know. You can't bench Rice because Rice had some great at-bats today and he homered. So are you benching Wells? You're running out of spots.
I would bench Wells, yeah.
And Wells had the go-ahead single today, but Goldschmidt has to bat against lefties, and you physically cannot bench Ben Rice.
No, you can't. He's the hottest hitter on the team.
And he can catch. Yeah. So I think you're stuck using Wells off the bench, which is what I'm hoping for because Goldschmidt was good in game 1. So that's the lineup dilemma the Yankees have. I am wondering if Rosario is going to play. They have a lot of options, so we'll see if Boone butchers the lineup or not. I would wait on the minus 160, wait for that Boone lineup to drop because he really gets too cute against lefties. So keep that in mind. I would not bet this overnight. I would wait. The line will definitely not climb to Yankees minus 180. You can sit on this. It's fine. Wait for the lineups to come out and go from there.
What do you think about the format? I think it's kind of fucked a little bit how they don't go. They start in the Bronx, go to Boston, go to Bronx. Like they should do that. Why is it all in one area?
I think it's twofold. One is the fact that they don't want to. They want to give a decent advantage to the higher seed, and I guess they feel like just having all 3 games at home. One is convenient. And 2, I just think they wanted to make it an extra incentive to finish with a better record.
Okay.
Because in theory, if you steal game 1, you win game 2, then it's just over at that point. I guess they just wanted an extra advantage to the higher seed. I'm fine with it. I think it's fine either way. My thoughts on baseball home field. Yeah. I think it's the second least important home field advantage in sports behind hockey. Yeah, so I think hockey's easily doesn't matter at all. Who cares? Drop the puck. I think baseball's number 2.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it matters that much. I mean, you're looking at the games in general, and the road teams are very good in game 1.
Yeah.
So who knows? But we'll see. Either way, I'll go with the Yankees, but it's an expensive price. I would wait to see the actual lineups drop. It might be a prop game for me. Anyway, moving on to a game that might not exist. Full disclosure, because we do have the Dodgers game going on right now. Dodgers are currently down 2-0 in the third inning. Long way to go, but a good start for the Reds. So for this matchup, which once again might not actually happen, you have most likely Glass now going for the Dodgers, taking on the likes of Abbott. I'm assuming it's going to be Glass now, but either way.
I thought it was going to be Shohei.
I think it is going to be Shohei? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So it could be Shohei. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll
Probably
see.
some piggybacking. No matter what, Glass now, Otani, Glass now would be some type of combo, if I had to guess. For the price, we don't have it, but the Dodgers will have a 2 next to their price. Massive favorites, most likely. Yeah. It's going to be run line or pass if you're taking the Dodgers. Over-under probably around 7.5 or 8, like every other playoff game we've gotten so far, besides the Tiger series, which involves 2 teams that can't hit. So I'll ask you for this one. I know, once again, this might be a waste of time because the Dodgers come back, then this game doesn't happen, but do you want to consider the Reds to shock the world?
I actually don't mind Andrew Abbott. I know his numbers aren't, he actually has a pretty good record here on the road, and his ERA is only 3.43, 6-3. Batters only hitting 232. He hasn't versed the Dodgers this year. I don't mind. I really don't mind Andrew Abbott, but it's hard to get away from the Dodgers here at home, and the way they're just hitting right now. Yes, not in this game, but in game 1, they just unloaded, and when this offense gets going, it's hard to get away from them. Whether it's Glass now, Shohei, if they lose here in game 2, I think they come out guns blazing here in game 3. So you're right. It has to be a run line play if you do like the Dodgers, maybe a team total over for them. But yeah, I probably would take the Dodgers here if they do force a game 3.
I'm trying to think of a creative way to back Cincinnati, and the best I got is potentially a team total over. The first 5. You're picking Otani to struggle, and you just go from there. But in reality, I'm just looking at this lineup, and yes, they got through against Yamamoto in the first. I'm just so unimpressed by their lineup top to bottom. Ellie's batting 6th now. He's been a mess for months. Do you fear anybody in that lineup? Because I really don't.
No. I mean, I can't talk. My team's trash, so, but no.
Yeah, at least you had a guy who had 40 home runs. Like, you had a couple of guys who at least can threaten. I know Soto was awful with guys on base this season. But the Reds, you're looking at the lineup today, for example, and even with a win today, I mean, you're looking at Friedel, Steer, Lux, Hayes. You have Stewart in the 5 spot. Ellie, you have Stevenson, Cabrian, Hayes, McLean. Like, there's nobody that scares you in that lineup. So I guess Red Sox first 5 to be cute if you think that Otani might struggle. But I think the Dodgers would win. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah,
but it would be fitting in a pretty fun fashion if Dave Roberts lost another elimination game at home against an inferior team.
Shout out Terry Francona if he gets it done.
Well, yeah, shout out to Francona. Shout out to Howie Kendrick. I didn't forget about your grand slam against the Dodgers a couple years ago in that World Series run. You get my point. Dave Roberts losing the series would not be beneath him. I'll put it that way. No. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for all 3.5 games for the card there on Thursday. Before we get into the Lock and Dog picks, reminder, they're brought to you by our sponsor, Arctic Fantasy. Play Fantasy Pick'em. You win 5 times your entry, pick higher or lower on your favorite player stats. Bunch of sports as well. You can do tennis, you can do basketball, WNBA, you can do hockey. I know that preseason's starting to go on, so are you already in your Devils form yet, or are you waiting?
Yeah, I mean, season starts the 6th, 6 days.
It does. I was asking because I know that since one of your teams is eliminated, you have some free time. And the New York football team stink.
I know, they do stink.
The New York football team stink too, so we're running out of sports teams to go with. So
they just signed Luke Hughes, 7 years, $70-something million. So he just got paid, Jack Hughes, his brother Luke. So yeah, I'm all in Devils. Let's go.
I'm happy for him at the end of the day, though the whole season comes down to if Jack Hughes stays alive or not.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. But either way, a point is you can also, when the season does start, look at their actual options there for entries. But a reminder, we have a new offer deal with Underdog. So if you use Underdog or you're trying to get a new account, use the code SGPN or MLB SGPN when you sign up. Play just $5, get $100 bonus funds. Once again, use the promo code MLB SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. A reminder, they're off to a great start for college football in the NFL. They have a leaderboard with league cash prizes for tracking your bets in the app. So track 5 bets of the same type for any model that you build, and you can win $1K. Use promo code SGPN25. You download the Rhythm app for a quarter off first month. Download Rhythm. Once again, promo code SGPN25. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through all of the games for Thursday. Time to move on into the lock and dog picks. Dylan, what do you like as your lock and dog for Game 3?
Can I give a player prop, even though that's kind of you and Adam's thing?
I don't give a damn. You can do whatever you want.
All right,
it's a free country. This is America. You can do whatever you want.
Amen. Jameson's tie on strikeouts is at 2.5.
They really think he's going like 3 innings. They really have no faith in him at all. Yeah, that's what that means.
Oh man, but
what's the juice on that?
It's minus 104.
Okay.
Minus 122 towards the under, but he's hit this in 8 of his last 10 games, and the only start against San Diego, he had 4 strikeouts. So I don't know. It seemed kind of small, but to stick to the side and totals, I kind of like the over 7.5 here. It's a little juicy at minus 122 with the Red Sox and Yankees. I think we're going to see some runs here. We mentioned it. Red Sox used a bunch of their guys. They're going to be a little tired tomorrow. Think if Boone doesn't screw around with the lineup, this offense can produce runs. Red Sox are going to be able to produce runs. By the way, do you remember when Trevor Story was one of the best hitters in the league back in Colorado?
I remember when he took the torch from Tulowitzki.
Yeah. Whatever.
Couldn't stay healthy, though.
No, he's still good.
Neither of them could stay healthy.
No, he's still good, though. He had 25, 26 home runs this year. So
a bunch of stolen bases, too.
Yeah, so I'm going to take the over. Give me the over 7.5 as my lock. As my dog.
So you're not taking Taillon?
No, I do like it, though.
Okay.
I was just looking at it. For my dog, I'll take Guardians on the run line. I think they win this game here at home against an inconsistent Jack Flaherty, and I think they'll be able to get to him early. We saw what they were able to do in the 8th inning, and I think they could replicate that here tomorrow. So, yeah, give me the Guardians on the run line at. Let me see. Do you have a line for that? That is. Oh, don't you hate it when they have the money line minus 110, but they're plus 1.5?
I see plus 185.
Perfect. Plus 185 is my dog.
Yeah. So for my lock, I'm going to join you on Cleveland. Not going to take the run line. I'll just go money line because there's no chance I want to pick one of these offenses to win by multiple runs. I'm not sure either team scores multiple runs in any given game. So give me Cleveland money line in this game. Cicconi's been better lately, and I do acknowledge that it's a pretty important spot for him because start of his career. I'm really not a Flaherty guy at all. I think that Flaherty's a pretty average pitcher with above average, I'd say, brand recognition, but I don't think he's great. And Detroit, I mentioned the numbers before with guys on base. They can't get a clutch hit to save their lives. They were able to win game 1 courtesy of some poor base running there at third base by Jose. But the point is, game came around today, chance to bury Bybee early, didn't convert. They never converted, and the Guardians eventually won. So I see a similar story here. At the end of the day, we've seen one common theme. Detroit really not clutch at the plate in big spots. What's a bigger spot than game 3? Give me the Guardians money line as my lock here at, I believe that was minus 110 as the best price. For the dog, it's a really, really tricky spot here, but do I think the Padres actually pull this off? Because Darvish, I know, has not been very good, but I'm really just not sold on the Cubs either. With PCA falling apart, does this offense scare me? They had back-to-back home runs against Pivetta. That was it. That was like the entire game 1 experience offensively, and they've done nothing since. So I think I will go San Diego. I see an even money. I think it's a coin flip game. I think even money sounds about right, but I think that Chicago offensively is not great. I think Taillon has been good recently, but you mentioned the strikeouts are 2.5. I don't know how long he's going. And San Diego's bullpen's really good. You get Miller again, you get Suarez, you have a bunch of options in the pen. The Cubs bullpen's been surviving. Do I love their unit? Not really. And you know what, Craig Counsell, it'd be fitting if he lost this game at home based on his actual, I'd say, overall history with his managerial record. Give me the Padres on the money line at plus 100 as my dog for the show. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the game 3s. You know what? No, let's have some fun. Dylan, I'm going to put you on the spot because I can. Give me a home run pick.
You're the worst.
Yeah,
Give me,
I'm
give
gonna
me,
do it.
give me, give me Trevor's Story. I think he hits another one. He's been red hot, especially in big time moments. So I'll take Trevor's Story.
So we actually had a joke about you on the podcast today with Mal because we talked about home runs. He forgot home runs too, and then I brought it up because I figured why not. And I picked Aaron Judge today. To be
Yeah.
honest, I should have done a better job looking at his numbers against Bayo in the past. They've been really bad, so my bad there. But I mentioned it, and then he made a joke that if you ask Dylan who he's taking, it's either Soto or Judge every time. So I wanted to see if you would take Judge, and you did not. So I'm proud of you.
Credit, but honestly, I gotta defend myself. I actually have taken other people. I've taken Pete Alonso, Cal Raleigh, and George Springer. So still very slim, but I do.
The point is, it got brought up today, so I
I
actually was
know.
curious if
He
you
always
would
makes
take
fun of
Judge,
me.
and you did not. So I'm proud of you. You took Story.
Thank you.
For my home run pick, do I think Machado does it again? I don't want to pick anybody in that Tigers and Cleveland game. I think there will be a home run there, but picking that is so tough. The Yankees game makes sense. Do I think a Yankees guy will do it? Probably. But who do I actually trust in that entire damn team? Like that's the
Jazz.
problem. No chance I take Jazz. No. It's about at-bat construction. I just hate the way that Jazz constructs at-bats, but he did a great job of working the walk, and he was able to score the go-ahead run because he was stealing on the 3-2 pitch. I can't take Stan. He's been so bad at the plate so far this postseason. It might have to be a lefty. Like, that's the problem, is that Rice's numbers are so bad against lefties. But I really love how he's swinging the bat right now. I'm going to do it. Give me Ben Rice for my home run pick. I doubt we have lines on that available, but I'll go with Ben Rice to hit a home run again for the second straight game. Anyway, it's going to wrap it up for the show. We're back once again at some point for the next episode. We have no games on Friday, so I believe Thursday is a rare off day for us. We're back once again on Friday. Dylan, anything else you want to add?
Plus 450, Ben Rice.
Okay, there you go. 450 Ben Rice. Let's see what we got. Let's go Beno Ros. Let's get the job done. Yeah, that is rice in Spanish. Anyway, till next time, find me on Twitter, Radio. Find him on Twitter at Rock with 2Ks24. Till next time, good luck to all of you and all of your bats. Bye, everyone.